there, this is Denise with Modern Priscilla Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, a big special welcome to you. I'd like to remind everybody to please go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss out on another video. All right, my friends, we are doing a pick a card today, and the question is, who is watching you? Ooh, okay, so let's see what we can see. All right, today I have the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot here with my Tiger's Eye. Here I have the Everyday Witch Tarot with my Clear Quartz. And over here I have the Zombie Tarot with my Dalmatian Jasper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be live shuffling. I will be setting out 3 piles, for which then I will invite you to select your pile. I will put in timestamps, that way you can jump around or fast forward as you need to. And let's get started. All righty, here we are. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. What I'm going to ask you to do is calm your mind. Think of the question, who is watching you? And see where your attention is drawn. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, select your pile. Pile number 1. All right, pile 1. Let us see what you've got. Who is watching you? Who is watching you? Ooh. All right. Ooh, all right. Well, you've got somebody looking at you, that's for sure. And somebody's looking at you in a different way than they used to look at you. For some reason, something must have happened. Maybe they just woke up and can see you differently. Or perhaps they've just now noticed you, met you, or whatever. But definitely somebody's looking at you differently. This here is our energy card. This is serving as the primary energy that the tarot is picking up on, and it also will affect our other cards. So right here with the Hanged Man as our strongest energy tells me somebody is looking at you differently. Somebody has changed the way they saw you before. And again, whether this might be from something you did to make them see something differently, or maybe just perhaps they kind of woke up and said, hey, but somebody is very much looking at you differently. Okay, they're looking at you in a very favorable light as well. We've got our Sun card. The Sun card talks about optimism, hope. It's always a very cheerful picture here in this deck. They've got these 2 holding hands and the sunflowers, so it's intended to symbolize that joyous feeling you'd feel in the sun. So whoever's watching you is certainly feeling that you either have already got a nice sun-like life going on, meaning things are going well for you. You just seem, that you radiate, hey, the sun, no pun intended. You radiate happiness, that kind of a thing. It could be that they're picking up on that. And it could also be, though, that they have hope for something else. I'm not sure. Are you looking at potentially reconnecting with somebody? An ex, perhaps? Maybe somebody it just didn't work out with. Maybe it was even a friend that you never kind of took to that next level. I am getting the feeling, though, that it seems a little bit more like somebody from the past, either an ex or somebody it didn't work out with, or it never even got really, it ended before it got started kind of thing. I do see, though, that there is a lot of hope. Plus, I do think you're radiating that energy, just that sun energy, Now here, this takes us to where I kind of am being, it's coming to mind that it might be an X, and I'll tell you why. The Three of Wands. Wands is the suit of effort and growth, and it's kind of about looking out there and deciding like, okay, how are we going to do this? I've taken what I've learned. I feel ready, but I know if I step out there, I might not be able to come back. As you'll see in this deck, I mean, this is the Edgar Allan Poe deck, so the artist has used a lot of the writings of Edgar Allan Poe to show the imagery. I am not as familiar as I would like to be with Edgar Allan Poe, so I'm not sure what story this might be referencing. But just look at the artwork. Look at this swirling black hole in the ocean. You know, the tornado black hole is the only thing I can think of. And he wants to get to that boat, and he's like, "All right, I can do it. I can do it, and I'm not going to fall in that hole. I'm going to scoot around." Do you see? So it's not just like opening up your window, going, "Yeah, it's a new day. I'm going to do something awesome." No, this is saying, you know what? I'm ready to face the dangers or the pitfalls or the risk, and I'm going to make this happen. Yes. And then it comes in with our Nine of Cups. Now, this is cups, so it's love and emotion, so it's definitely a feelings type of card. The Nine of Cups talks about personal satisfaction in relationships. It's about saying, you know, come on in, the more the merrier. I am happy with my relationships. That's where I'm also thinking it might have been somebody in your past who was potentially just a friend, or maybe, like I said earlier, you got started and it kind of ended before and you're just sort of like, okay, it didn't work. I get the feeling that somebody is looking at you very differently. I feel like there might be a social component to it because of our Nine of Cups. You know, again, bringing it in, the more the merrier type of thing. And again, I'm really getting that about the potentially an X or a false start. I mean, I'm really getting that. This is very strong. Looking at you differently is very strong, being our energy card. But now what we're going to do, we're going to pull our cut card. The cut card is the energy of the outcome. So let's see what else we can get. Ready? Go. Boom. All right. Two of Swords. All right. I'm going with it. I'm going with this. It's somebody from your past. It's somebody from your past. Now, it could be an ex. It could also just be somebody that you connected with at one point and it never, you know, progressed or whatever. The Two of Swords is all about ideas. Swords is the suit of thoughts and ideas and things like that. The Two of Swords indicates kind of being caught between two ideas and really not knowing which way to go. That's why you'll almost always see the person in the card with a blindfold on. They don't know how to choose. They're not sure which idea is best. Think about it. If it's an ex, the idea that you already agreed on was that you were broken up, right? So now there's the thought, ooh, should we get back together? Ooh. If it's a friendship situation or, you know, that kind of a thing, it's like, ooh, are we friends or are we getting together? You see? So being caught between two things, whichever applies the most to your situation in terms of your connection with this person, but it's somebody from the past. Absolutely somebody from the past. Ooh, pile one. That's exciting. Oh my gosh. Oh, you might know exactly who this is. All right. Well, please go ahead and write a comment. I would love to know what you thought of this, and you might know who this person is, who the cards are picking up on. Let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. And of course, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit subscribe. I never want you to miss out, but also it really does help me out a lot, so I would appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Pile number 2. All right, pile 2. Let's find out who is watching you. Oh boy. Okay. Ooh, all right. All right. I think it's somebody. I'm going to go through it, of course, but just right off of the top here. I definitely think this is somebody who you have potentially broken up with in the past. I do think this is an ex, and you know, I can't tell if it was you breaking up or the other person who initiated it. You know, one of you obviously did, or it might have been mutual. You know, I don't know. But I feel like you were very torn about it. Even if you were the one who initiated it, You still felt like, we've been through a lot. We've gotten this far. We should go the long haul, or I can't wait to find out what's next. But at the same time, something's not going right. So whichever of you ended it in the past, I'm thinking the same applies. This is an X. This is an X. Okay, I'll tell you why. Let me explain. Here we've got our Nine of Swords. This is the energy card. This serves as the strongest energy that the tarot is picking up on surrounding the question, who is watching you? You've got the Nine of Swords for your energy. The Nine of Swords, as you can see, look at the artwork. She's in bed. She's upset. She's been thinking. She's been kind of going over things in her books, like the past, like, boy, let me see where I've been, and now just not knowing quite what to do with that, feeling upset. Yeah, so that's the energy. And again, it will kind of serve as a clarifier for each of our other cards. So again, feeling like upset, looking at the past, is covering these. So feeling upset, looking at the past with our Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands talks about, kind of being cautious, but not giving up at the same time. So this is a good kind of protection card, like an emotional protection. I'm still hopeful, but yet I'm also guarded because I don't want to get, put myself out there. I want to protect myself at the same time. So this is, again, where I'm thinking, it was a breakup at some point. Again, whether it was you or them initiating it, the same applies. Yeah, so kind of, just being cautious and waiting, being able to stand your own, but also yet still looking for more, how to take it to the next level kind of thing. So, well, what have we got here? Six of Swords. This is about carrying your baggage with you. This is a card that really indicates, having, your troubles, things that were going on in your relationship, perhaps. Carrying it with you. Look at our witch here. She's got a whole thing on her backpack there. Heavy, right? And they're carrying it away and running off in the night. So they're going to stick together. They want to, be loyal and things, but this gets heavy every now and then, right? So therefore, you might have had that breakup moment. It could have been what broke you, maybe. Maybe you were tired of waiting. Maybe he or she was tired of waiting. Maybe you had some real substance issues. I don't mean substance like addiction. I didn't mean it like that. But I meant relationship substance, like there's something wrong, But anyway, you guys stuck together. The caution, the waiting, the hoping, the not giving up, sticking it through leads us right over here to our Five of Wands. The Five of Wands, Wands is the suit of effort and growth. But this talks about kind of just not being on the same page. It also, though, is a card that really identifies more work that needs to be done to improve. It's almost like a practice card. Does that make sense? They're practicing to get better, and until they get better, they're still kind of butting heads, not on the same page. Do you see? So we're going to pull another one, but let's just sum this up so far. All right. Who is watching you? I am going to say it is an X. I am going to say it is an X. I think it is more of a relationship type of person rather than a guy or a girl that you dated a few times. I feel like this has more deeper substance to it. So this is likely an X relationship. And, this implies that, you probably are both feeling that sense of, all right, I don't want to run in and get my feelings hurt. But at the same time, I'm still watching and wanting this, willing to wait for it, but I'm not going to let myself be a doormat kind of thing. Here's where you're carrying the baggage, and here's a kind of where you were just trying to get on track, and you just, for whatever reason, weren't able to do that. But again, this card implies that work will pay off. Everybody starts at the bottom in terms of a skill. Now, relationships are more than just a skill, but, a beginning of a relationship, you can imagine, think of a couple that's been together 20 years. When they first met in year 1, I mean, do you think it was the same as it was in year 10 and year 20? I mean, that's what the time does, right? This is implying that you had some time. Now, whether it was 20 years or not, I don't know, but maybe. But my point is that it was some time to build momentum, to know that this was something that you're both wanting to work for, but something in the course of the relationship just caused a lot of maybe resentments, baggage of some kind, relationship baggage, you see. But this says there's a way to work that through. So let's take a look at our cut card. This is the middle of the deck, and this is the outcome energy. We want to see if we can get a little bit more. All right, ready? Go. King of Pentacles. Okay. Our court cards are most often personality types. Not always. Sometimes they're about an event, but a lot of the time, though, they are representative of a personality. Our King of Pentacles is somebody who's very secure and solid, really wants to kind of enjoy life, enjoy the fine things of life, and relax and no concerns. So this is showing me, the personality here, the energy of the personality, I mean, here is about somebody who's ready to just kind of let things go, wants to get back to having fun. Sometimes baggage is something that needs to be addressed so it doesn't repeat itself, or so there's some kind of resolution, things like that. But sometimes some of those things are just things that we've held on to that we don't need to, like resentments or anger over something that later in the long run you find out doesn't really matter, or it's not really that big a deal. Definitely never give up your pride, what you need for your life. You don't ever want to give up on what your boundaries are, or your expectations. So I'm not saying that. But sometimes we do have to look back and be like, all right, was that big a deal? Or was I being a little ridiculous? And we have to look at it from both sides. Here we have this card here talking about practice, getting better at it, learning from each other. When there's two people, obviously you two aren't identical. You both have different minds and different ideas and different desires, different ways of communicating even. So even though you obviously can communicate to each other, you understand him or her and he or she understands you, but it's more about listening and hearing it. It's about internalizing it. It's about really hearing you. Not just hearing with my ears, like a physical vibration going through my eardrum, and now I hear you. It's about hearing you. You understand what I mean? So I think this person is ready to hear you. This King of Pentacles is also a card that pops up when we're looking at a person promoting another person, meaning, say our king here. Our king is like, boy, this is the best cake I ever ate. Promoting the cake. I love this cake. The cake is the best. Well, this card, when it pops up in relation to this type of question, would be somebody kind of identifying you. So this looks like somebody who potentially was regretful that things ended. Maybe they were the one who initiated the breakup. But it's very clear to me, this is likely going to be an ex relationship, not just an ex dating type of person, but it's somebody you've built some substance with. And they are willing to let things go and just kind of get back to the point where you're sitting there eating cake with your cow and your dog and your vines growing up your legs, whatever that is. Ooh, pile 2. Ooh, well, this is exciting. I hope this resonated. Please drop a comment. I'd love to hear what you think of this. Maybe you can think of an ex right now who you're like, ooh, I bet that's who it is. I'd love to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And of course, if you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe on your way out. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Pile number 3. All right, pile 3. Let's see who is watching you. Okay, let's see what we've got. Ooh, okay. Ooh, somebody's watching you. Someone's got their eyes on you. Okay. Let's see what's going on. This card here is my energy card. This serves as the strongest energy that the tarot is picking up on. So let's see what we've got. We have our King of Cups. Ooh, first of all, Cups is love and emotion. So we've got some feelings going on. We're thinking about who is watching you. Look at this king. He's sitting in the water, underneath the water, kind of just watching, right? Sitting back, just kind of watching from afar, not making themselves real known or, or drawing attention to themselves. Somebody who's just watching. This is a king. So this is somebody who's very secure in themselves and in their feelings, but also somebody who doesn't want to make a mistake. So oftentimes sits back to see what other people are doing first. He wants to make sure that he's on the same page with other people. Does that make sense? So there's that. That's our energy. So that's really good energy for this question. What have we got next? Wow, we have three court cards, and we have a major here. These are all very, very strong messages coming in. As I said, this is our energy card, so it will serve as a clarifier for each of our other cards. What have we got first? We have our Page of Wands. All right. Our Page of Wands, this is somebody who it just can't wait to get started, wants to jump right in. But look at this. Now, obviously, this is a zombie deck, so it's clearly a zombie baby, but think about what the symbolism is of a baby. Somebody who's new at things, right? Somebody who's just getting started on things. Our pages are usually right there in that beginning kind of thing. So what I'm thinking, we got to look at these are, but what I'm thinking so far is this is somebody who's been watching you perhaps from afar. You might interact with this person. You might know this person. Maybe you don't. But either way, they're not letting you know that they're watching. Does that make sense? They are anxious. They want to start something with you. They want to potentially, I guess, make it known maybe that what their feelings are, or waiting for you, hoping that you'll express your feelings. But they're not feeling it from you. They're not feeling it from you yet. So they're not sure quite how to move back, which would make sense of how to move forward, which would make sense as to why he is kind of holding back, waiting in the ocean there. See him in the ocean waiting, excited to go, but just afraid that you perhaps aren't going to be feeling the same way. This is our Knight of Cups. If you watch my show, you know that I call the Knight of Cups the Ooh La La card. The Ooh La La card, the reason I call him that is because if you can imagine your favorite romantic movie star, that would be this card. Somebody who's charming, sweeps you off your feet, and all those kinds of things. But this person does not think you're going to be open for that. Look at, wants to swoop in. Let's start over here. Watching from afar, not sure how you're going to react. Wants to move forward, but is kind of inexperienced, maybe just doesn't know the way forward. Maybe, again, because of this one, I'm going to say waiting on a sign, right? Then wants to move in, thinking, oh, ooh la la, I want to come, but I'm afraid you're going to shut the door in my face, right? Now, obviously, this is a zombie deck, so they've barricaded themselves in from the zombie, and this Emperor dude has his gun, his axe. He's like all ready to protect, right? The Emperor card is a card that shows up when it's trying to identify a time that order needs to be made. We need some order. And when I say that, I'm not saying that you don't have order. I'm not meaning it that literally. But what I am meaning is this is a problem for this person. Obviously, they want to come in. They want to swoop in. They're ready to go, but not sure how to do it. They're watching you. They want to swoop in. They're afraid you're not going to feel the same. So that is something that needs to be put into order, right? The feelings for your person needs some order there. Let's get another one. I need to know what's going to happen. Their fear is what is holding them back, though, for sure. They're watching you from afar, afraid that you're not going to be interested, maybe, and they need order. So let's find out a little more. We need a little more. First, what we're going to do, we're going to pull the cut card. This is the card reading the outcome of the energy. This is the middle of the deck. We'll see what this says and see if we need any more. Okay, let's take a look. Boom. Nine of Hazards. This is success. Okay, Nine of Hazards. That is Pentacles. If I had to write one word on this card to remember what it means, I would literally write success. This is talking about kind of being surrounded by a small paradise. In this deck, being zombies, of course, the paradise would be in the middle of an apocalypse. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a store with all the food and no zombies, right? That'd be a pretty heavenly paradise, right? So in your case, though, this person feels very strongly that you two would make a good match. Somebody's watching you that thinks that you are not going to like them. This is probably somebody who is a little bit more on the quiet side, who pulls back a little bit and isn't actively like rambunctiously involved in the situations, not somebody who doesn't spend any time doing anything. It's not like this person is going to be, under the covers and never engaging in life, but it is likely somebody who is a bit more introverted, that kind of a thing. They are looking for somebody, a partner. They want to build that paradise. And again, they're just kind of feeling like you aren't really interested. This is a great outcome card, but we do need to get another one because I want to know who this is. I'm wanting to know a little bit clearer. Who is it? Who is it? Is this somebody from work? No, it is not somebody from work. Is this somebody that we already know? Yes. This is either somebody you already know or potentially somebody that you might have had a falling out with. It could have been a friendship type of thing too. It doesn't have to be like a breakup emotional. We have our Tower. And I said, is this somebody we know? And this popped up. This talks about rebuilding something with somebody you know. So this is somebody you know. It doesn't necessarily, though, have to be an ex. It could be a friend. It could have been, somebody that you just kind of felt was more of a easy breezy kind of meeting or something, and somebody else feels a little more strongly about you. I definitely think this is somebody who is hanging back, probably a little bit more introverted. Don't think it's somebody at work because we asked that and it came up no. But it is somebody that you know already. And the rebuilding portion of the meaning of this card is what made me kind of wonder if perhaps it was an ex, maybe a friend you haven't talked to in a long time. Again, rebuilding is the real strong sense. One other thing I'll point out about this is it says big changes. Big changes are coming. And I specifically said, is this somebody you know? And this gave me the Tower. So rebuilding, big changes coming, and the direct answer to my question. So yeah, so pile 3, somebody's definitely watching, and be looking for the people who are the quiet ones. See what they're doing. Ooh, pile 3. This is great. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please drop a comment for me. I would love to hear what you think of the reading. And of course, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit subscribe. I want you to stay in the family, but it also helps me out a lot. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you.